Well, hello everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. Um, Everybody, if you guys want to introduce yourselves, and then we can get started.
What's up, guys? I'm TJ. I go by Just Gonna Send It on Twitch.
My name's Corinne, but I go by DebPie or Deb on Twitch.
My name is Steve or Steven, whatever. I go by Evux on Twitch.
My name is Matt. I go by Mad Waves on Twitch.
And as you guys know, my name is Shorty or Hannah, also known as Shorty Pie on Twitch. We're basically going to be talking about just a few things, streaming wise, that we are thinking that are important and might be interesting for viewers to listen to. So I gotta ask, we can kind of go in the same order. What drew you guys to Twitch and to gaming in general?
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the order. Was it me or were we going? Let's start with
Yeah.
Deb. Yeah, let's just go down from the top on the list.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay.
All right, Deb.
So when I was younger, I was a very, very large kid, so I didn't really play sports. I didn't really do much, and so I kind of found a lot of comfort in video games. And as I grew up, video games became more of like I guess a passion rather than just a hobby. And so finding that streaming was able to like take the passion and like turn it into like a job or a career has really been really cool to see. But yeah.
Okay, nice,
yeah.
nice. What about you, Evux? I know you used to stream, but mainly you're more community member. You want to give us a little insight?
Yeah, so I first found out about streaming probably about a decade ago now, actually. I used to use something called Xfire to play Call of Duty on like computer. And a guy who would stream on there by the name Soda Pop, and then eventually he moved over to a platform called Justin TV, which I then went to because he started streaming there. And then from there, they turned into Twitch eventually. And I've just been floating around the platform ever since. It's been about 10 years.
Nice, nice. And you used to stream. What would you used to stream? Just Call of Duty?
When I first started streaming, like when I first gave it a shot years and years ago, it was either RuneScape or NHL, like the NHL series for like the consoles. But then when I first came back really into it in 2017, it was a lot of Fortnite or H1Z1 on the PS4 and COD.
Nice. Okay.
Oh,
All right. Yeah, Just you can go ahead.
Wait, you or me?
You can go ahead. I'll go last.
So I grew up the class clown, and I always like played video games and stuff growing up. So like just making people laugh naturally was a thing for me. And so one day I was like playing, I can't remember, we were playing like Fortnite or something. One of my buddies was like, "Why don't you just stream?" And I was like, "All right," and that's how I started. So I think the next day I started streaming, and I haven't stopped since.
Okay, that's awesome. What about you, Matt?
I've been watching like Twitch for a very long time, and just like I've been watching gamers and that like Let's Play stuff since I was a kid. So like I don't think I really wanted to start streaming until probably like 2017, where I really wanted to do it, but my computer actually couldn't handle it. My CPU bottlenecked the entire system, and the stream just looked terrible. I went back and I like looked at like really really old clips that somebody would get, and the stream quality was just awful.
Nah, I feel that.
But, like,
I feel the same way kind of though. Though that's how it was with me. I would try to like stream stuff whenever I was younger, and my laptop would just like, it would just not work. That is so funny. But yeah. Okay.
All right, Shorty, what drew you?
So basically I was kind of the same as Deb. I was this weird kid, and I didn't really have a whole lot of like, I did sports, but I didn't have like a crazy amount of friends. So I would always play video games with my online friends. And I don't know, we just kind of like, after, playing the original like Pokemon on the DS and like, Game Boy and stuff like that, I kind of just blossomed, I guess, into like, I got my first Xbox. And that was like a game changer for me, because around when I got the Xbox, PewDiePie was the biggest YouTuber on the gaming side of YouTube, and I realized that like I could do this. This is like kind of what I want to do. So after watching PewDiePie my whole life, play video games and horror games, I actually started doing it on another channel, and I'm never gonna put out what the channel's name is because it's so embarrassing. I would play horror games on my laptop with my webcam, and it had that terrible watermark of the recording screen. It
That's
was
so
so
dope.
bad.
Unregistered
But
hypercam too.
it was so bad, but I had so much fun. I was playing like Slender and like just like Amnesia and scary games because I just wanted to be PewDiePie. So, and then I kind of like from there I was like, okay, well, what kind of other content could I make? And then I realized I just enjoyed like hanging out with people, so I started doing just chatting on Twitch, and then I played Fortnite, and now I'm really into Valorant. So
That's dope.
kind of been everything up till then. What was it like when you first started streaming? So like the very beginning, like what was it like for, you know, your experiences, and probably what was your favorite moment, like most memorable moment?
I feel like my beginning experience was definitely a lot different than a lot of other people's because like the first week was awesome. It was a dream. Like I had my family and friends coming to my streams because I didn't have like a community at that point. So like they were like kind of like my community at the time.
Mhm.
But so a week in, I started getting spammed by like these bots that would just spam racial slurs in my chat. And no matter how many times we banned them, they'd always come back. So, long story short, it turned out that it was like it was like this Discord server that's devoted to like making streamers' lives like terrible. And so like they had targeted my channel for like a month. So finally got that figured out. So I almost like quit streaming within that week strictly because of that. So I count like my starting of my streaming career after all of that was over,
Right.
but it definitely was difficult in the beginning because it's like you're trying to find your identity, you're trying to find who you are as a creator, and it's like you kind of go through a lot of self-doubt. Like a
Right.
lot of self-doubt. Like you see all these like incredibly pretty girls at the very top and you're like, wow, insecurity is coming back full force.
That's so
And,
crazy that there's discords like that.
Yeah.
I'm
It's-
glad you stuck with it though.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, so it's like in the beginning, it was a lot of like I was dealing with like my insecurities, trying to figure out who I was as a creator. And I guess the point where all of that like turned and like streaming started to become like incredibly enjoyable for me was when Stephanie B rated me. I was playing Dead by Daylight. I remember I was in the Asylum map. I just remember it specifically because it was like such a big moment for me. It wasn't even a gigantic raid and like nothing monumental happened, but her community was so kind and loving and like was just throwing hosts and just making my chat move faster than I've ever seen. And I remember I like just sobbed on stream because I was like, this is what I want my community. This is what I want to build. This is my absolute goal with streaming. So I guess I kind of found direction that night, which I guess was very important for me.
That's
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
super
that's cool.
important. What about you, Vux? What was it like when you first started streaming, and then what was your most memorable moment?
Okay, so since there was like two different, like I can give two completely different answers because there was really two periods of time where I really started streaming because the internet's like changed so much and I took like a break in between.
Mm-hmm.
When I first really tried to do it, like take a dive into it, probably it was like 9 years ago, like a year after I started watching streams. The internet was a different place. Back then, you could say anything you wanted to on stream,
Right.
and there was no cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was completely different. People could say anything they wanted in your chats. They wouldn't like even if you banned them, they'd come
Yeah, you
back.
could say that about
Like
YouTube
now.
too. Basically, the internet in general really didn't
Oh,
have any rules
yeah.
back then.
You just can't say
Yeah,
anything
so
without people
It
getting
was pretty much a
offended.
lawless wasteland where if people came into your chat instead of banning them, it was like you would say something back to them. Like it was just like 2011, like Xfire and Ustream and all that was just battle of bullying each other till someone went away. So that one wasn't a good experience. But
Right.
2017, when I first dove back into streaming, it was a really good one because I've made a lot of friends at that time that already were streaming and stuff like that, and they convinced me to do it. And it was rough at first because I was one of the people that like even though I had friends that did it, I told them I didn't want them to host me or anything. I wanted to try to go from like that 0 mark to see exactly how difficult it could be. And I put in hours. Like I was doing like while in college, like over 200 hours a month while doing a full-time college student. Like it was crazy. And it paid off. By the end of the month, because I was also when Fortnite first came out, like I paid to play the game because I felt like it was going to be big. So at the end of the first month, I was at like 10 to 15 viewers, which is pretty
Nice.
good growth for someone who's just starting out.
Especially in
And
that
there was
game.
a lot of talk. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
there was a lot of toxic stuff too, though. Like people would come in and just trash on me because they'd think that they're a better gamer than me, or they would think they were deserving of it. So I think it was really similar to the point where you have to deal with a lot of toxicity when you're first starting out because people will claim you're undeserving if they've been doing it a lot longer than you have.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like it's a different kind of toxicity from the way it was back then. But that's just because of how the internet's changed.
Mhm.
But I feel like I feel like it was still a very good time though, because that's how I met you. That's how I met Deb eventually, is just through that. Because I remember I actually met you back in 2017. So
It seems like people
Yeah.
try to do the cool thing now is to just be negative about everything.
yeah, no, 100%.
What's
I-
wrong?
What about you, Justin? What do you think is your probably best moment?
So I started about 2 years ago. I think it's 2 years next June, and like the first 6 months was hell. Like it just sucked. I was a full time student. I was working full time and trying to stream full time, and like mentally, it just was so taxing.
Mhm.
And I came into it thinking, with my personality, I was going to be fine. It was going to be easy to grow and all that. And playing, I only like saturated games, unfortunately. So that has been an experience in itself.
Mhm.
But I've now learned to embrace that more and like just keep working and grinding. But
Mhm.
it's definitely been a journey. And now it's like cool to help people that are just now starting to stream and like going through all that stuff themselves. I'd say
Right.
the most memorable thing, I went to PAX West and I like got into this like little. They had like a thing that you could game with a couple of phase members up on stage, and I got into it, and they ended up streaming it on Twitch and stuff, and we ended up winning the game that we were playing, and so that was pretty dope. Made
That's
me feel
awesome.
like the highlight for a little bit, and then I was like, all right, I gotta humble myself, dude. We need to relax.
Oh,
But yeah,
that's
that was dope.
That's crazy. What about you, Matt?
So like I said, it was just really bad, right? I felt like when I first started, I was really just trying to emulate other people that I saw. Like I wasn't trying to do anything that like was my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So and like I picked up and dropped streaming several times, and it was like by the third time I finally like picked it up again, I got affiliate, and that was like huge for me. And then
Yeah.
it, like that was kind of like my motivation to keep going more, like
Mhm.
that was such a big milestone to get. But like back, like I remember, so kind of going back to like idolizing that like streamer and like YouTuber culture, like you did with PewDiePie. Like
Mhm.
my group of people that I like idolized and kind of wanted to be like was the creatures on YouTube. So
Mhm.
like Sly Fox Hound and like Uber Hexer Nova, those guys were like my idols as a kid. I wanted to be just like
Right.
them. So like I don't know, when I first started streaming, I was kind of young. I think I was like 16 or 17, and now I'm turning 20 in a couple weeks here. So
Mhm.
it's like I don't know, back when I wanted to start it, I just like wanted to be just like them, and I tried mimicking everything they did, but I was not good at it. So
Oh, I feel like. Man, my most memorable moment. Like when I first started streaming, I streamed off of my Apple laptop.
Hell yeah.
And it was horrible and I hated it. But all I wanted to do was stream out because I streamed off of Austin's PC for a good few months. When I first started, the support was insane. I was at that high of like when you first start, you're so excited. And then the lull came where I was like, you're very much just like plateau with viewership, you're plateau with everything, you're not growing at all. So I was like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? But I think probably the best part was when I had the whole summer I was streaming off of my Apple MacBook Pro. And I was it was my birthday stream and just everybody from my community came together, and I have never been more humbled in my entire life was when they helped me to be able to purchase my PC so
That's
that I
so
can do
dope.
this. And I honestly, I've never like I remember once we turned the camera off and everything, because Austin came up to visit for my birthday, I just sobbed for like 30 minutes because I don't, a small girl from freaking Missouri just got enough money so that I could follow like my dreams basically. And the fact that my my community actually genuinely supported me enough to the point where I could do this as a full job, it just blows my mind because I felt like PewDiePie right there. Like I felt like I was like, bitch, I
So
made it.
dope.
Like this is crazy. But yeah, I think that would probably be my best moment. Was just like feeling so humbled by my community and just realizing that there's so many people from around the world that support me, and it was insane.
How wild was it going from your Apple to the PC and once
Oh
you got
my
it?
god. I think honestly it was like a night and day, man.
Just a world of difference.
I would just go from that one screen to having 3 monitors, and it's like I could like look at different things, and
That's so dope.
it doesn't take like 45 minutes for anything to load anymore, which is awesome.
That's so dope.
But yeah, it's probably my best moment. What would you guys, as Twitch streamers and past Twitch streamers, like to see Twitch as a website add, like something, or takeaway even? Because I'm curious if I love the addition of the hype train. I don't know if you guys have had one of those or anything. Probably one of my favorite additions they've had. I know that they've pushed with partners. They've pushed out having like movies that you can stream and watch with your community. I think that's an amazing thing, especially with the virus coming out and everything. People wanting to connect with other people, watch movies together. I think that's amazing. Is there anything that you guys think that should be added or taken away, Deb? First.
Like we were kind of talking about earlier, I think they need to find a way or add something like, I guess, more protection for streamers when it comes to follow botting and view botting. Finding a way to try to figure out how to prevent it, like even if it like is helping it like 5% more than what it's helping right now. That 5% can really help with a lot of frustration afterwards for a lot of streamers.
Right, and I know you've had to go through it quite a lot with the follow botting.
I have gotten a follow botted since I first started. It hasn't even been a year yet. I've gotten follow botted 12 times.
Oh my gosh.
Just recently, within the past month and a half, I got follow botted 13,000 followers. Thankfully, got all that sorted out. But like before, it was like drops of like 100 followers, 300 followers, 1,000 here and there. So like I was taking care of them as it came. But it's just frustrating. It's like you have to take like an hour out of your day to go through and get all these botted followers that people pay. Like,
yeah,
I'm
trying
to.
And for those who don't know, if you don't know what a follow bot or a view bot is at home, a follow bot is basically, it inflates your numbers so that it looks better. And a view bot will inflate your numbers when you're live. So whenever you're live and you actually have 2 viewers, somebody can view bot you to 1,000 or 2,000. And that's how some people unfortunately get partnered. It's a quick and easy way. The people who don't truly care about streaming, that's what I believe anyway, who don't truly care, just want the cool check mark, just want to say that they're a partner, kind of cheat their way into it. And people will view bot and follow bot you to mess up your numbers. Twitch used to ban people, I believe. I thought when they got view botted, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think at one point they did.
There's like concrete proof.
Yeah, unless, but
almost no concrete proof of it.
Like if somebody does it on stream.
Now I think it's like it affects your chances of getting partner, which is why I'm terrified of getting view botted, because if you don't have proof that you didn't do it, or if you had proof that it's very hard to prove or disprove if you caused that you were follow botted, or like because I've seen people they've gotten denied for partner strictly because of like the whole view botting situation. They didn't think anything of it when it happened, but maybe they weren't even aware they got view botted. Maybe they thought that it was just like a really good night, and then that gave them the chance, that took away their chance of getting partner.
I feel like with how big Twitch is, how can they not reverse where, like, whatever viewers in there, can they reverse like view where that site or where that view is coming from?
They can.
And they can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's just they don't take the time, or they don't put their resources to have it actually help. I think they need to hire people strictly for these issues that are making people switch. I mean, I know people that I haven't heard many view botting or follow botting on like Mixer or other platforms. It's strictly Twitch. Like, they need to figure out how to deal with it, because it's like I'm at a point where I'm very frustrated. I mean, I'm kind of used to it at this point, but it's like they need to do something. They need to put resources and time into figuring this out.
That's one issue with Twitch, though, is like they don't really care for the smaller streamers. They're not gonna put the time in.
And that's one thing I would like to see Twitch add, is like staff to where we could talk to somebody if we're having problems. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to contact Twitch about anything. Yeah. My tax information didn't go through for a year and a half, and I was worried, like, because I never got anything. And I was trying to get in contact with somebody at Twitch because this is a very time-sensitive matter. And I didn't hear back from somebody until past my birthday, which is after June. That's so like in July. And I was like, I like this is important. And I feel like that's something that Twitch really needs to like add. Like I understand they care about these big streamers, but like there's so many medium and small streamers out there that seriously need help too.
Well, those big
So-
streamers were our size at one point. And like that's
Exactly.
what I had something similar. Like I had something going on with my TwitchCon ticket last June. Didn't get an answer until 3 months after TwitchCon happened, and it was
and I
like
tried to
automated
explain that.
BS that they're always sending out.
Exactly. I tried to explain that to my parents too when they were trying to help me with my taxes. They're like, "Are you going to get your information?" I was like, "I have been trying to contact them for months."
I
Like-
understand that, like, compared to the big scheme of things, like these big streamers, like, not everybody's gonna pull in a ton of money, but like we make them money.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I don't get it.
I don't understand either. That's one thing I wish they would do is add either just more customer support people
Yeah.
or just people in general that we could talk to as streamers, because like I have a bunch of questions that I wanted to ask. Like I had to wait until TwitchCon to ask one of the people that worked at Twitch. And I was
wild.
like, oh, I was so frustrated. But after, talking to them, I kind of understand, because the sheer amount of people at Twitch, like that stream on Twitch, was like when they were explaining it to me is insane. Because when I went to TwitchCon, I expected every single person to be a streamer.
Yeah.
But actually, it was like 50% community
Ton of
goes to
community members
TwitchCon.
that go. It's wild.
And it was insane. And I was like so surprised. And they're like, "Oh yeah, this is how it is on Twitch at all times." But they explained to me that all those people that are community members, they're like, "Oh yeah, they sometimes stream." So they're technically considered streamers as well. But they like to be called community members. So they're like, there's the sheer amount of people on Twitch is insane, and that's why they can't get to everybody, which I totally understand. But as a content creator, it's annoying when I can't get an answer for months.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like,
It's it.
it's honestly kind of really frustrating too, because it's like then you feel like you're not valued. It's like when you're on a platform, it's like they like put this whole like when you're in Twitch, you're part of our family. It's like no, the top 5% are part of your family. We're kind of
Yeah.
just the peasants beneath you,
right.
and it's like a shitty feeling to have. And it's like I hate that they have such a monopoly that they know like, oh, these people aren't going to leave us anyway, so we can treat them however we want. And
Right.
that's kind of like I mean,
Yeah,
I would
until
never
one
switch
of
platforms.
these, like either YouTube or something, until one of them actually starts threatening them, they aren't going to do anything.
Like
Exactly.
basically, when I reported that I got followed by like the one stream I got 10,000, I was like, "You guys need to do something about it." Basically, the response they gave me is just don't get follow botted, and I'm like, "Thank you so much for your time, Twitch." So
It's
very
like, holy hell, thank
Yeah.
you for that.
This is
God, all
That's
problems are
enlightening
solved.
news.
That's wild.
What about you guys? Anybody else have anything that they
Yeah.
I got
So on the
two after
topic
Matt.
of, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying I get two after you. Go ahead.
Okay, got it. So on the topic of botting, with the recent drop fiasco of Valorant, we see a lot more streams that are just solely focused on just bot streams with drops enabled for Valorant. Like
Mhm.
there's no people streaming it. It's just like
Wasn't that they were playing their VODs or something and claiming
yeah,
it was
like they were
live?
playing VODs of like other people or some stuff too. Like it was really weird. It was just,
Jesus.
but the streams were profiting and they were utilizing like other people's content or even just like content that wasn't theirs for Valorant drops. And it was a really huge problem because you had to scroll so far to find actual streams. And it's
Mhm.
kind of ridiculous because think of how far you would have to scroll to find an actual user through all that when all of the botted channels are sitting up there with like 100 plus viewers or 200.
Oh
like,
yeah.
and I think that could easily be solved if like Twitch just had like just some volunteer moderation.
Exactly.
I just think that
Or
the
they
fact
started
that they
banning
have
them, didn't they?
replays is stupid. Like, why would anyone need replays?
I
Like-
like the VODs just for like going and getting content for YouTube, but I feel like maybe just
Yeah.
leave that to the streamers. Like,
But like,
I-
there's people that are rerunning them. It's like, what's the
Yeah.
point? There
I
is no point.
understand if there's like an off day. So say like you want to take Wednesdays and Sundays off, replaying a VOD from like another stream
I've never even thought
on
about
that day. But besides that, I don't really understand. You stream for a living. I don't understand why you need to play VODs when you're not streaming.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me. But like,
Because,
I think
like-
that's what they made them for, is for when you want to take a day off. So
Oh,
you
and
can
that's what
just-
now, in order to grow, you have to be making content on so many different platforms that,
Yeah.
you got other outlets to have your viewers come watch
Right.
stuff. So
I will say though that people made bank off those VODs. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
didn't they
It
start? They
wasn't-
started
it wasn't
banning them,
just for
right?
them.
I know
Like,
that
fake accounts, yes.
Because
but
didn't
like, for
Summit
Classify
make
got
a
in
video?
trouble.
yeah,
Classify
Summit
got in
ran.
trouble.
Yeah, it was
He made a
few
video.
Yeah, a few people ended up running their VODs after that because the thing is, VODs still had drops enabled, like reruns.
Oh, really?
So even though-
Really?
Yeah, so there
Yep.
was that. Then they took that away and they said, okay, so now they don't. So people would stream themselves and then they would quickly end stream and restart stream and just stream the stream they just did through like a window capture.
What?
Like an Electra did that.
Oh
Yeah,
my.
Electra did that. Poach did that, and they got a lot of backlash for that. But people have made so much money off of that.
That's
Like
that's
there's
so
one guy,
crazy.
a German streamer, who hit I think it's like 45,000 subs on Twitch
Oh my
just because he was just constantly rerunning stuff. He didn't stream for 6 days. He was just doing rerun
Wow.
content and he kept getting
Jesus.
subs.
That's
That's
so
insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
I just think it's actually disgusting to see, and it really just shows you the character of the streamer when they do something like that. It shows, like, I mean, if you're in it for community and if you're in it for the fact that you want to entertain people, you wouldn't do that. You're obviously in it for money at that point if you're sitting there rerunning content. It's not benefiting you, it's not benefiting your community. I mean, it is benefiting you monetarily. It's like, it kind of gives you like a sense of who that streamer is. I didn't even realize Electra did it. I'm
I
actually
didn't
very
know it
disappointed
went.
she did
I
that.
didn't know it went that deep. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't even. The only reason I ever understood reruns was when you would take a day off. That's what
Yeah.
I thought when I saw somebody do it. I'm like, okay, they're just taking a night off. I would
Yeah.
never ever in a million years think that. Okay, so how am I going to make the most money? I'm just going to rerun this stream for 24 hours so that people will keep subbing to me, so that I'll make money. Like that doesn't make any sense
No.
to me. Like, oh my gosh.
I literally, I have a good example of how reruns have been used. There's a member of the Smite community named Allied who unfortunately died of cancer, and his stream just runs like reruns of all of his old streams, so
That's
that
dope,
like his
like-
fans can just go back and watch every.
That's
definitely is cool.
See,
understandable.
that's
Yeah.
fine. It's
See,
just those people.
that's just like a
that are-
good example of it like being used
Yeah.
properly, except like it gets abused so much.
Like I don't know if you guys have ever been to the ASMR side of Twitch. It's a
Hell
it's a
yeah.
side. It's a side.
It's a side.
Yeah.
Right there.
But that is basically a majority of the ASMR community as well. It's like 99% reruns. It's very rare, or
Oh,
like
really?
people taking other people's streams and claiming it as their own. Oh yeah, I've seen like sometimes I go listen to ASMR. It's kind of relaxing. Not gonna lie.
I love ASMR.
It's
not gonna
scary.
lie.
And-
I like
It's-
rain noises.
It
Yeah,
makes me
it's like-
extremely uncomfortable.
It's a lot of reruns, and like I didn't really think about it until now. It's like those people are doing the same thing. It's just
Yeah.
I understand it's like ASMR, like it helps to like people fall asleep, which is why I guess people run it constantly. But like
How
I don't know. I'm
on
just,
Twitch's side, how can you allow them? I mean, they don't care because they're making money, but how can you allow somebody to rerun the VODs like that and like it's all about live content on Twitch?
That's the whole point of Twitch. Is
Yeah.
you're not on YouTube, you're on Twitch.
Yeah.
And that's what I
is-
never understood.
But
Twitch is
that's-
very picky and choosy who they ban,
Allow.
who they perform actions upon, and I think it's really about who is doing what at the moment. I don't think
yeah.
I take their community guidelines with a grain of salt. I think it really depends on who you are, what you do, and what you contribute to them before it comes
If
to
you're
what
making
actually
them
happens.
a ton of money, they're not gonna be as harsh.
Like-
This kind of leads into the TOS problem. I'm not sure if anybody had anything else.
Real
Yeah, I was
quick,
saying.
I think that they need to add for streamers some sort of, I don't know if it'd be within the website or something, to combat swatting. I haven't heard too much of
Yes.
it recently, but like people have lost their lives over that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
it is a thing.
And the person that swats goes to jail. I don't care about that. They shouldn't be able to get away with that in the first place.
Right.
Like there's got to be something with that. But then like another thing I was gonna say.
Unfortunately-
Oh, go ahead.
I think that's just the internet.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
happens a lot on the CS:GO side. I mean, I heard it happened
Yeah.
to my friend like the other day. It was
Oh, really?
ridiculous.
Wow.
There are
and-
systems in place within police departments to prevent that from happening. However, it's not,
How
foolproof. It
does-
still happen.
How is it that the streamer gets banned for that?
I
Again,
guess 'cause
Twitch
it's
is very
violence.
picky and choosy about what
I
happens.
guess
They
yeah,
don't-
we'll
'cause what
roll
happens-
into that one.
Because like,
It's quicker to ban them than it is to hear what happened
That's
Yeah,
so
I can-
wild.
because they don't have the
I can
customer
see that.
support.
Confrontation. Mm-hmm.
I can tack onto that. The reason why people started to get banned on Twitch for swatting was actually because of another streamer. He goes by the name Trick2G. He's a League of Legends streamer, and for a while he was living on a boat, and he decided to do this thing where, because he pissed off someone in his chat, he did this thing where he faked like he was being swatted.
Oh my
And at that
God.
point, so Twitch banned him immediately for that. I think it was for 30 days, and ever since then, Twitch has always banned people because they don't want people to be like, "Hey, it's fake" or "It's real." They don't want to like,
Yeah, I
take
didn't
a
even know about
chance.
that. That's wild.
yeah. Ever since then, they've done it.
The
But I
last
do have
quick
something
one.
else to add
Oh yeah,
also.
my bad.
Okay,
Go
I
ahead.
can go after you.
I was just gonna say, like sometimes when I'm done streaming, I'll go look at like lower view people with like 0 to 1 viewers to host, just kind of make their night. And I don't know if you guys have ever looked at that, but there's more people streaming with 0 viewers than there are people streaming with double digits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so like when they rolled out this whole thing where you could flip the viewer count from low to high instead of high to low like it has always been, I was thinking like, damn, that's cool. Like that's something going to help a lot of streamers get noticed. But if you're sitting anywhere between 5 and 30 viewers, you're more buried than all the 0, 1,
Right.
2, and anything over like 100. And that's something I feel like I think I talked Shorty a little bit with you about it. Like whenever you go to like look for a house or an apartment or something, you can put like the filters on. You know, I want to spend between $1,000 and $2,000. I think that they should add some sort of filter of viewers, where you could be
Right.
like, I want to
Yeah.
see 3 to 30, or 30 to 60, and I think that would be something dope that they could add in. I don't know how hard it would be site wise for them to do it, but I feel like that would be dope to do.
I think they would
Yeah.
kind of say like you could scroll down to 30 to 60. Why would we need to implement that? I
Yeah.
feel like I think that is a good idea though. Well, I mean, it also depends on the game. I mean, if you look at games like Dead by Daylight, the first row is 2,000, then it goes to literally the next person with 200, and then the second row is 50 to 60, then the next row is 10.
Oh,
Right.
really?
So there are
So I think my problem is I
games
just
like
play
Fortnite.
oversaturated games. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fortnite, Warzone.
Like Fortnite, Valorant, stuff like that. And
Right.
I even call it, so like whenever you're on Twitch, I call like anywhere from 20 to like I'd say almost 100 viewers is like the dead zone. Like you're not going to find that unless you scroll a while.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, if you like these saturated games like I do, unfortunately, I love Valorant. Valorant is huge. It's been huge with like the drops and everything. Has been a crazy amount of support has been added because of the drops. Now, the question is for me, I wonder when the drops are done, how much of this is going to stay with Valorant, and if people lurking these streams are just saturating them and then these people's numbers are going to like plummet down. Or because I know in the first few days when I got the code, my viewer count was in the 90s. Like it was insane. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. But it was just people trying to get a code.
Yeah, if you got it
So-
early, it helps so much with views.
So
But
I
then
was
people start getting
wondering
them.
if Valorant is going to stay like this, and if Twitch is going to allow Riot to continue to release games like this. Because in my opinion, I think this was a terrible way to release a game. Like it's super cool in retrospect. Be like, yeah, you just watch and you get a code. But I have friends who I watched, I didn't get a code until, a week after. My friend let me use his account for the first few days. But I had to wait so long to get the code. I was just on a whitelist. That's what they call it, I guess. But I was just waiting, and I just think that it was kind of a weird way for them to do it. I'm curious what you guys think about that.
I
I
feel like
think
Nintendo-
Say
it
it's a-
promotes fluff
yeah.
numbers. I think they're not real stats. I think it gets streamers' hopes up, and I think in the end it's gonna kind of make people really like go into a lull after the whole wave of like the drops and everything is out. I think it's going to hurt a lot of people mentally when it comes to streaming because
Yeah.
after you have like a week of like killer numbers, you're like, wow, look at these numbers, they're going up, and then you go to like chop your viewers in half. That's like, as much as you don't focus on numbers, we're human, we're streamers, we focus on numbers, it's our job.
Mhm.
I
And
feel like any successful streamer focuses on numbers at least a little bit. You have
Exactly.
to,
It's like you
know
have
if you're
to.
doing things right.
And it's just like when those numbers get chopped, you're not going to keep celebrating. You're going to be like, what am I doing wrong? And you're going to sit here thinking, what did I do wrong? When really it's the game. So I think
Yeah.
it's going to damage a lot of streamers that are mid-sized to small. I don't think it's going to touch any of the big streamers. They have nothing to worry about because they're already there.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
think
I
it's
mean
gonna-
people like Pokimane and Summit who were averaging, 100,000 viewers.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It was
Like,
like, I think
I
someone had like
couldn't even-
300 at one point. It's
I
wild.
couldn't even imagine having it like over 1,000 viewers. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I don't know how you can keep up with chat, and when it becomes less of like a community and more of a mob.
Well,
if
at
that
that
makes
point,
sense.
I feel like I mean, at least when I
Yeah.
watch, because I love watching Doc and I'll watch Summit every once in a while, and like Tim and all them. And at a certain point, you just can't keep up with it. You got to just,
Exactly.
when you peek over, you read something, you go back to the game. You know, you try to keep up with the subs and the bits and
Yeah.
donos and stuff. But like, I'll even see, like, there was one Summit got, I think it was during that when Valorant came out, he got back to back like $300 donations. Did not see him at all. Not at all. And
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
just couldn't even
what?
imagine. I just
Yeah.
If I got
And
a
I think
300
if they-
dono bomb, I'd probably take my shirt off on stream. Like, what?
I think if they do release it again, I think it should be more evenly distributed to size. I know it's not going to work because big streamers bring in the most amount of numbers and it hypes it up for the game, but I feel that they should give everyone equal opportunity to get the earliest beta.
What if all the well, it's hard because so many people stream now, but what if
Yeah.
streamers had the
Well-
access and then each streamer had a certain number of
of
codes that were
codes,
gifted?
like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Sometimes where they do the code so you can give like people in your community a code. Because I know I used to get those emails where I'd be like, okay, you got 5 codes to give out. Like awesome. Like that was something super cool I could do with my community. But like with this, I have my friends come into my chat and they're like, hey, like, is there any way I could get a code? I'm like, no, I have no control over it.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's gonna be random, my dude.
I had some guy come in and he's like, can you give me a code? I was like, dude, it's all randomized. Like, I don't have access to it. And he's like, all right, I'm unfollowing. And it's like, all right, well, I'll see you later then. Like,
Bye.
good luck getting a code then.
The numbers for the game will definitely dip. Like I've been saying this for a while now. I feel like my guess for where it's gonna sit on like once it launches and a few months afterwards, it'll be a game that pulls probably 250k viewers at peak. Like
Right.
it's gonna that's what it's gonna be. That's
And I think
Especially when it
competitive
drops.
comes out,
And
it's
as
gonna
for
be
like
a lot
as
better. though.
yeah, as for how they released it, I personally think there's not really an issue. I feel like in terms of like viewership and stuff on Twitch, obviously there's gonna be inflated numbers because it's drops, but it is a closed beta, and they did say not everyone's gonna have access. Like they're only
Right.
giving out a certain amount of access to this game. Not everyone's gonna have it, and they also didn't say, hey, obviously top streamers had access first and they had drops on their channel first, but they ended up fixing that, and ever since then, there's been just as much chance of someone getting a drop watching your channel as the biggest channel.
Exactly. And
That's not-
recently I've noticed that I've had well
Yeah.
over 30 drops
And
in
it's
my
because-
channel.
Yeah, and it's because of the fact that they've said, hey, not everyone's going to be able to get access. This is going to be a test of like 200k players per server max. That's all it's going to be. We're sorry. I feel like at that point, it's kind of understandable that, like, hey,
Mhm.
people want keys, but they're getting keys. It's not because it's a bad system. It's because it's a closed beta. It's
Right.
not like the game's even launched yet.
Like
the game's not
Valorant-
launching for a couple more months.
Valorant right now has 440,000 viewers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
That's
that's why I
wild.
said
About-
it'll
I would say
drop to like
maybe-
250k. The game
Maybe
Yeah.
25%, I would say those are bots.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
even 50.
Yeah,
I could
well,
see
yeah,
it sitting,
25%, that's
especially when
top-
it drops. It's going to be top
250K.
10 for
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
a couple months, and then
I think
depending
when
on how
codes
much
come
they
out,
update
too.
or
It's already the number one played game in Brazil and Korea, and there's not even 100k. There's 100k players per region right now.
oh
What
really?
I think they should have done with releasing is kind of like, you know how when G Fuel releases a flavor, like some people will have the chance to order it earlier. Is that a thing? And like you sign
That's
up
just
for the.
clicking the link. Like it's
Yeah,
not
it's
like
just
an
like-
exclusive list at
This
all.
was
Or, like,
completely
Well,
random.
what they should have done was that they should have, like, even with large streamers, give the smaller streamer just as much of a chance to get like that first access. Like, put them in
Yeah,
a
at
pool
that
with
point.
some and like hand pick who get, like, not hand pick, but like pick out of like a randomizer who gets the game, so it gives equal ability to see more people grow. I know it's like how it is, like the rich get richer and the poor stay poor kind of thing, with like the big streamers will continue to grow while the smaller streamers continue to struggle. But
Well,
I
that
feel
just
like
wraps
It
right
just-
back to where, like, when we talk about like when we reach out to them and can't get an answer, they don't give a damn about what
Yeah.
we want or what's going to help us, because
Mhm.
I mean, and this wasn't really like, it wasn't chosen who got the codes,
Yeah,
but
that was
like
right.
they're definitely happier having the bigger streamers have codes
Yeah.
because that just racks them in more money.
Mhm.
Yeah, like if I'm
I
right,
think
as
that-
much as like I'd like to help like a smaller streamer live their dreams, I got to be honest. If someone says, "Hey, would you rather give this 20 to 30 viewer a key to your game, where the 20 to 30 viewers will see it, or do you want to give it to say this person that pulls 1 to 2,000 viewers, and the 1 to
Exactly.
2,000 viewers will see it?"
Well, why don't
If
you do
I'm
the 1 to
right-
2,000 viewer and the 30 viewer?
Well, if I no, because that's the thing. I'm only going to give out a limited number of keys. Because even if you say help out small broadcasters, Twitch has over 4 million unique broadcasters every month.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually so crazy. Like I
Like,
said it earlier. Like
there's
the
not
amount of
enough-
people that stream to
yeah.
0 viewers is mind blowing.
There's not
yeah.
enough. There's not enough like spaces for even all the streamers on the website.
And like
Right.
we were
It's a-
talking about
yeah.
earlier, the follow for follow and lurk for lurk and all that. Like I just personally like. I wish somebody would just go tell all of these people like, you can pull up on your dashboard your channel and it counts as one viewer, and that would blow you up over all the 0. But then again, that doesn't really help, because if you're searching from low to high, being in that
Yeah.
0 range, once you go up to 1, that's so much more scrolling. It's such a
Right.
weird like
Yeah.
situation.
And that leads to what I would say Twitch should add, and that's like some sort of way to help people get discovered. That's
Yeah.
their biggest flaw. Because here's the thing: people are like, "Oh, how would you do that on Twitch? It's a live streaming service." Yes, they did implement preset tags, but why not let people use their own tags? Why won't you let people actually describe the content in their own way? And
Yeah.
even sites like Mixer are doing a better job.
Like more
Mixer
customization, I
has
could
two
say.
things.
In categories, they could
Okay,
easily put like
customization's coming.
comedy.
You have profile customization coming. It's starting to roll out in some regions now.
Is that on
Mhm.
Twitch?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
it's supposed to come out like
yeah.
within the next week, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah. I already
With like
have
the
it.
preview thing and all that.
Where is it? Your
offline thing, yeah.
dashboard?
Yeah,
It's your
Yeah.
offline screen.
yeah. But no, I'm talking
It's
like
gonna be like a YouTube where they have that preview of your channel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kinda
okay.
thing.
even like Mixer, for example, they have something called the hype zone, where if you end up if you're playing like a battle royale or you're playing some sort of game, they have a bot that will go through every channel and it'll detect if there's a channel even in the bottom of the directory that's near the end of a game.
The hype
It'll say,
zone is
okay, like-
fire.
Like say it's Fortnite, it'll say, okay, are you top 20 on Fortnite? Okay, well, let's pull all those players together. Who has the most kills? Oh, this person with 0 viewers has 10 kills in top 20. Okay, let's show him right now to these 400 people watching just pure end games of Fortnite.
And it shows you until you either die or
Yeah.
win. It's actually, I
And
streamed
they
over
do
there for
that-
like 3
yeah.
days, and it was so dope.
They do that
That
for
is super
every
cool.
they do that for every game. Even games like Dead by Daylight, they will see if like you're almost about to escape. They have a bot that will watch your gameplay and somehow detect it.
And people
The
will
technology's there.
just watch the hype
Yeah.
zone just
Well,
to
it's
see all
like
those
highlights
moments.
on YouTube.
Yeah. I found
Oh.
streamers do that, and like it's the fact that technology like that clearly exists, and if another platform can do it, so can Twitch. They have the Amazon money.
Yeah.
It's not like they're
Right.
broke. Like they can definitely implement things to help people grow, even fix the recommended thing. Because I'm going to be honest, if I go on recommended for you, I don't care about people that are followed by people that I follow. Because if I follow one of my friends, they might watch someone I'm not interested in. I'd
Yeah,
rather see
everybody's got
streamers that
different
are
tastes.
similar to the
Mhm.
content I watch.
And like half the time I recommend it's Pokimane. I'm like, bro, it's like I know who she is. Give me someone new, you know?
Well, that with the
Exactly.
tag thing, you could like how you were saying,
Yeah.
add customizable tags. Like
Exactly.
you could also like with the channel browsing, add something like if you're comedic, or if
Yeah.
you're more just laid back, or if you're just trying to
They
be
have
goated at a
search bar
game.
they don't use, dude. The search
Yeah.
bar at the top. Who even uses it?
Yeah, I don't think I.
do.
I think the
hit
only
browse-
time
I hit browse to go into games to find streamers I want to watch, or I'll go to following.
the
I
only,
haven't typed in that search bar.
the only
like,
time
I
I'll
don't
use the
watch-
search bar
okay.
is if I kill a TTV in a game and I want to go see if they're streaming.
I haven't
No
watched.
mood.
I haven't watched Fortnite in like 2 years on the thing since the World Cup, and my last search in that search bar was Fortnite World Cup. That's how little I use that search bar. It's pointless. It's like I don't understand why they
I
didn't
do
make it
enjoy
better.
it. Like I do enjoy like if I'm looking for like a specific person, I do type them up. If I'm looking for like a specific category, I do enjoy that. Like I do use it. I use it like a disgusting amount in my opinion because I'm too lazy to do it any other way. So
Yeah.
I do find it useful, but they should add more.
Yeah, there
I
needs to
just
be-
feel like they need to keep competitive with Mixer. Like I know Mixer, and being all honest, like I don't think it'll ever be as big as Twitch. I really don't. I think it's gonna be like a third-party website kind of thing.
They've
That
even
just-
proven it now with
Well, it's
Ninja
run
and
by
Shroud being
Microsoft. It's
over.
doomed to fail.
Yeah, and I mean with
I
that, I feel
think
like
the main thing is
Twitch
they got-
should take some from that though. Be like,
Yeah.
okay, this hype thing, like with the hype train, that was such a good idea. It keeps people active. It keeps the hype in your chat going, and the chat keeps moving. It is built
Also,
to
people
help your
love
channel,
keeping that
Yeah.
going and like to get to the next
Yeah.
level of the train and stuff.
and it's crazy, and it's just a fun thing to do and just to be a part of. And I
Yeah.
think if they had something like where it could highlight streamers, not just streamers on the page, like that you have to, okay, people who are on the main like site of YouTube and the I don't know what it's called, but like where you go to Twitch and there's just like that rotating thing of channels. A lot of times that's just like top people over and over. I see. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah, if you watch or follow any of the top people, it's just filled with that. Like right now,
And-
mine is Nick Merckx, American Dad, Summit 1G, and Tfue.
and I don't mind
it's
that. Like,
what?
I love Nick Merckx and I love them, but I also think that Twitch should start to cater to some of these smaller creators. Like, this is not just like the site. For something that they say is all inclusive and is a family, they need to start treating it like an actual family, in my opinion.
Yeah. Otherwise,
But-
like they gotta work on a lot of stuff though. That's a big thing because like I agree they gotta treat it like a family. They do. That's like one thing that's massive because like you said, you reach out to customer support unless you have that check mark and you pull a lot of viewers, you're not gonna get noticed or even if you're a partner, you're not gonna get an answer back most of the time.
I
Right.
wonder
used to be
how
that every-
hard it would be for them to add just like one of these things. Like I feel like that
Oh,
it wouldn't be
they
that
could do it
that
easily.
hard.
Like
And
you
people
want to
would
know
sit
like,
on the phone too. If there was like a helpline, like I know I would sit on the phone for a few hours if I had to
Oh, for
wait.
sure.
Like,
like you want to know an example of exactly how bad Twitch customer service is? So a few years ago, they had it so every single partner had a partnership manager.
wow.
Right?
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this.
But how many so before it was like maybe 1 to 5, 1 to 10 partners per manager max. What do you think that number is now? 2 years later.
It's insane. I wouldn't even be able to.
Well, I mean, you also have to
between
think, like-
70 to 100 partners for one partnership manager. There are
Well, I mean, there's
partners
also a
that
lot
reach
of
out.
partners that don't even stream anymore. It's
These-
just like they still have
No,
the
but
check mark.
there's partners that pull 400 viewers that go to reach out to the manager and they're told, "Hey, sorry it took me 3 weeks to get back to you. I was dealing with XYZ. I was told they have more viewers, so I have to prioritize them."
This is like Amazon doesn't have enough money to fund like
Yeah,
you know
they act
it's
them 'cause,
unreal.
like because streamer wise, they're definitely winning the fight right now because the way it is. But when you look at it like actual viewer wise, yes, they are also the most viewed streaming platform. But when it comes to actual like growth potential for streamers, like YouTube right now, the average YouTube streamer pulls over 80 viewers. Twitch, that number is 25. Like the ratio is just so much larger on other platforms that Twitch is struggling to bring in new viewers, and these fixes would help that. Fixing with follow botting, fixing with customer service, fixing the search directory, fixing all these things to make it more user friendly would definitely help.
But with like
But
how
I
we're
don't
gonna
know
like
what
talk
they're talking to that.
how we're gonna talk a little bit about like the TOS stuff, like I feel like
Oh,
they're
man.
going to wait until it's too late to change any of this.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well-
it already is too late.
We could enter into this question of TOS and
Yeah.
how do you feel about the TOS system that Twitch has in place, and are you happy with it? And how do you feel like it affects small streamers versus big ones? And we
I think
can,
it's-
if you guys want, go into the whole Lindy situations that she's had, because I know this recent one, especially with accidental nudity on stream, it's one of the top no-nos of Twitch. You don't show titties, you don't show anything like that on stream. So say somebody like me, I average 30, 40 viewers, and I did something like this, I feel like I would be banned in
you'd be
15 minutes.
banned in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Literally a second. Don't give yourself that.
Yeah. I mean, and it baffles me that I understand it was an accident, and I feel like people who are dogging on her still about it is wrong.
I don't think they're
But I
dogging on her because she did it. It's the fact that she never sees repercussions. Never.
Exactly. And Twitch finally gave her a ban of 24 hours. And you know what, Twitch?
I feel like that's just a slap in the face of the community.
Yeah, I don't understand because I think it was somebody in FaZe. He was talking about a situation with a girl, and he got banned
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah.
sexual content for 3 days. Just talking about it, where she had a full nudity moment, and she has done, with the whole cat situation and everything, it just boggles my mind that this is allowed.
Let's
It's
not
weird
forget
to
that body
me.
painters get banned on the daily for never showing anything. They have the pads on and everything, and they're doing it because it's art. And they get banned because they have no clear guidelines about what they can and cannot do after they've asked for it countless and countless and countless times again. But instead of actually giving them, hey, this is what you can and can't do, they're just like, here's a ban, here's a ban, here's a ban. They don't tell them what they can and can't do. And when they do get banned, they don't even give them a reason why.
What baffles me is the amount of time it takes to make a decision on Alinity. And just like bigger streamers
wasn't
in
it
general,
like
it
4
seems like,
days or something?
yeah, it took them that long
for
to
1 day.
Yeah, for like it just baffles me. I've gotten somebody banned off Twitch in an hour for like bigotry.
I
and
swear
other
they
stuff
only
like
did that because of what they saw coming if they didn't. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which I
But
almost
it
feel like
took
the
them
1 day
4
ban was
days to make
worse.
that decision.
1 day
That
ban
should've
is
been
almost
instant.
worse than them just not doing anything, I feel. Like,
Right.
what is that?
And then also with everything going on, especially this, like, I don't understand. It makes, so as a female on Twitch, I get, the basic harassment that I feel like every female does. I feel like this makes it so much harder. I know guys will always say, oh, women have it easier on Twitch. The
No,
amount
no,
of
no.
harassment and the amount of like just weird suggestive things that happen to you and just the creepy things that happen all the time in chat, I feel like it makes it 10 times worse
Oh, yeah.
when somebody
Yeah.
as big as Alinity does not get repercussions for her actions. When somebody, a guy could get, like, for twerking on stream fully clothed, has gotten banned. I don't understand. Like, they need to have these guidelines in place so we can follow the rules.
Yeah.
And for those who don't follow the rules, no matter what size, I understand she makes them so much money, but like, this is
It's
important.
not, yeah, at this point, it's more about
Like, I
just
feel
the
like
moral
they
of the
don't-
site.
Yeah, I feel like they don't give us saying like if you do this, you get this. I feel like they
Yeah.
give it. I feel like they give themselves room so they can say, well, it doesn't say we have to ban her, so technically we're not doing anything wrong. It just says don't do it.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off. Like, this is like the biggest thing that makes me want to leave Twitch is this whole situation with Alinity. It's like she gets the baby. I feel like she could kill someone on stream and they'd say, no, Alinity,
We gotta
don't
look
do
in.
that.
We gotta
Yeah,
look
do
into this a
that.
little bit more.
You
Like,
can't do
It's
that.
just, and I mean, there was some funny videos made memeing the situation, and I know that American Dad made one that made me hysterically laugh, and it was just this
Oh, yeah.
video of him acting like Alinity and Twitch staff all of a sudden becoming blind once it happens. Like, and I'm like,
I love
for
AD.
anybody else on the chat on the stream, I feel like even Pokimane or Valkyrie, like if they had something like this happen, I feel like they would be banned.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
But it's Alinity, and I feel like she believes. I don't want to be this person that just attacks her, but I feel like she thinks that she can get away with anything.
I feel like
And-
how many times can she get
Can
away
in a
with it
way.
before she knows she's not stupid. I don't, and honestly, the whole titty thing, I don't think that was on purpose. I don't. I personally, I
think that was
don't think.
genuinely an
Yeah.
accident. I think she was drinking. She said she had been drinking and was playing Just Dance. So, like, I understand sometimes things happen, but also there's a whole you have to take responsibility for your actions,
I
and I
might-
don't think she does. I mean, she gave herself a 3-day ban,
Yeah, you
but
should
I
be
think
done for
this
a week
ban,
or at least a month.
I think this
Which
whole
probably
thing
told
with
it was
her.
coming.
Well, I think that she did this ban. She gave herself the suspension so that it would die down.
She probably got more subs during that suspension than because she wasn't
Yeah.
actually banned, so people could keep subbing and stuff.
Her channel was
just-
suspended by Twitch.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
it wa-
suspended.
Wasn't
I
it
don't
just
think
for
it
the
was
24
just
hours though?
24 hours. She gave herself.
However, think about her first stream back after being banned. We can look at this with Doc as well after Doc was banned, where Doc's first stream
It
back
blow
was
up.
insane.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. That's what
both of these
happens.
streamers, you don't think that like getting banned is also a public? There's a rule on the internet. All publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
You do anything stupid, you're gonna get attention for it. People are still gonna look at you. And either way, like Alinity getting banned, still good for her brand because she really can just come back and be like, oh, hey guys, I was banned. Welcome back. Hi, how are you? Where's my money?
Nothing
Like-
changed. Hey, I took 2 days off.
Like,
Exactly. Like, it's a break for her at that point.
This
Yeah.
might be an unpopular opinion. Like, I don't feel that the titty situation was as bad as the other ones.
oh,
No.
That she
Oh,
should have
no.
been banned. Like, she should be.
For the
She shouldn't be
animals.
on the site at all, regardless how much money she
Yeah.
makes.
I
Like-
think that she should have had the animals taken.
Oh,
from
yeah.
her.
oh yeah.
Didn't
Because-
that girl on YouTube get her dog taken from her?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I understand she wasn't like physically like hurting them. I know that with cats, you could drop them from a high distance and they'd be able to land on their feet. They're cats. But with the vodka
Yeah, the
thing,
vodka was the worst.
that's actual poison for
That's
cats.
straight animal abuse.
I
And
think,
that
like,
is abuse.
even with her throwing the cat, it's like I understand it's a meme now. I mean, you don't know how old the cat is. I mean, cats do have really bad joints to the point where
Yeah.
it can actually affect them. I mean,
But her cat
fact
started
that she
seizing with the
never-
vodka.
she never apologized. It was always, I don't see what I did wrong. She never accepts that she did something wrong. She never sees the fault in what she's done. She just never sees it. She
Well,
feels
and
like
part
she's
of-
done nothing wrong because Twitch continually doesn't tell her she's doing something wrong, so she doesn't see the fault in what
Yeah,
she's
part
doing.
of the blame has to go to Twitch because they're not holding her accountable. Like, if
So
she
then,
can,
like-
if she can do this stuff and continue streaming, like, she's not going to see that she doing anything wrong.
Exactly.
Or like, if PETA would have taken her cat, like
I do
something
believe that
needs to
they went
happen.
in- I do believe that they went in to her house and they like deemed that it was a safe area, and I
Oh, did
understand.
they?
But it's the fact that what she did, and we have physical proof of it,
Just straight video evidence.
and it's just like I don't understand. I know there was a guy that was showing off his lizard on stream, and the lizard jumped out of his hands and fell on the floor, and he got banned.
Really? Well, did you hear about the
Yeah.
guy that had a stuffed animal after this whole Alinity thing? Stuffed animal, tossed it behind his shoulder like Alinity did, making fun of the situation, and he got banned for, I think it was like 2 weeks.
It's
Yeah.
insane, and
Isn't
I
Don't
just
touch Twitch's golden girl.
like
Twitch's- their TOS is linked heavily to their like PR team and their legal team, and like it's been proven because like that's what like with Deller, he got banned for permanently banned. Like he got permanently banned because he was playing a game and he hit his head against his keyboard and it broke his keyboard.
oh yeah, for
And they banned him permanently from the
The
play.
self-harm,
self-harm,
right?
yeah.
And then back in 2017, Ice Poseidon was on a plane, and someone swatted his flight.
Oh my god.
And Twitch permanently banned him, not because of something he did. Literally, they like Ice recorded the conversation without Twitch knowing at TwitchCon that year, and they explained to Ice it wasn't because he broke rules. It's because it was they thought he was going to be a liability to Twitch and the legal team at that point because he got swatted. So they decided to permanently ban him because it
How is
was going
this
to
not a
cost them money.
liability though?
Oh,
How
because
is not a liability?
they thought he'd be a target for swatting.
But
And
no,
they're
but
like,
it,
and they're like, oh, that could
Related.
cause.
How
Oh,
So
no,
that
that's the
just
thing.
shows
liability.
instead of helping, they just get rid of it. They don't care about their people. It just shows.
Yeah, they don't ban her because they know people are going to keep on subbing to her. They're going to keep on going to their site to see her stream during those controversies.
Hmm.
So they don't ban her because they know bring in more money. Just like how they banned Ice and Deller because they knew it would cost them money to keep them on the platform.
I think that Deller thing,
Like,
they just got to a point where they didn't want him on the thing or on the site anymore. So they were just they were digging for stuff because that's so
Yeah.
Right.
that's so stupid. He wasn't like he
Yeah.
did that all the time. That was his brand. He's
Oh,
not
yeah.
hurting himself. Like what?
And the poor dude, because of the way Twitch TOS is written, he can't stream with his friends that are on Twitch. He can't.
Oh,
have
Wait,
his name
really?
show up on- yeah. People that are banned on Twitch, like people have been banned on Twitch. I got a 30-day suspension for saying the words Ice Poseidon on my Twitch channel.
Really?
Yeah, like if when you're banned from
What?
Twitch, like permanently banned, you are shadow banned. That like even when you're temporarily suspended for like a month, you were technically shadow banned.
That's
There was
crazy.
something going on because someone got banned during the World Cup or something, and they weren't allowed to play because the World Cup was going to be streamed on Twitch. Or sorry, it was qualifiers for Fortnite. They weren't allowed to play in the qualifiers because their name would be broadcast on Twitch.
That's crazy, honestly.
I
Like,
think
it's
just like to figure out all of this, they need to sit down with the Twitch community and figure out a way to write a set of rules that kind of just does something, because their TOS does nothing. It doesn't.
It's so vague. It's like
so
it's like YouTube too. I
It's
think
probably
all these companies do this to umbrella the idea of something bad, so that they can just put everything under that umbrella. Be like, oh, you showed nudity. Oh, you put like, I don't know, your clothes were a little too tight. That's technically nudity. Sorry, ban. Like
last year when Amazon bought the rights to Thursday Night Football, I would stream Thursday Night Football because it was always on Twitch, and it was dope. Like, it was fun to watch with the community, all that stuff. Like, a bunch of people would come in, and this year when football came up,
it's exclusive to certain partners, didn't they?
Yeah, only certain partners got to stream it. But when I emailed them, I was like, hey, like, there's only like 4 or 5 people streaming it. Like, I'm asking to just have access to it, to stream it. Like, I'm not trying to do anything wrong. I don't want to go against TOS. I got automated response. I think I have 7 automated responses before I finally got somebody to email me back. And their email was, you would have to check our TOS guidelines. And it's like, you can't just tell me straight, like, what? You said that in the first 7 automated messages. It's like they don't even know the TOS rules.
I think even Alinity, though, she pointed out, she quoted one of the FaZe guys that got, I think it was Adapt, who got banned.
Yeah, that was Adapt.
And she quoted his tweet and was like, they do need to be more, Twitch does need to be more specific about bans. They do need to be more, just to explain like what we did wrong. They can't just be like, oh, it was sexually suggestive and yeah, here's the rule for it. They need to be like, this is the clip, this is what you did wrong, and you know, have some sort of like explanation. I understand a lot of people get banned on Twitch, but I feel like especially for smaller streamers and medium-sized streamers, we need to know, because big streamers really don't get banned all that often. It's like the smaller and medium streamers that we don't know what we did.
That's like that Corinna ban. Like, that was the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard. Like,
For sure.
she gets banned, but like Alinity doesn't. Like, what?
That's why that's honestly why I stopped streaming on Twitch and why I started like just posting content elsewhere instead. Is because the thing is,
well, YouTube's kind of the same way at this point.
Yeah, YouTube, it's just demonetized. They never like actually shut down channels. You just make another video that and make sure it doesn't get demonetized. But as for like streaming on Twitch, if you get to a point where you say you put all your focus on Twitch and your focus is mainly on Twitch, and that's where almost all your content is, and you get to the point where you say you pull 60 to 70 viewers and you're able to sustain yourself full time off of that, because maybe they don't always come through at the same time. It's a bunch of viewers. I don't know, but let's say you can. If you mess up or you piss off Twitch somehow, if they ban you, your brand's done. If you didn't build it up anywhere else, you're done.
Right.
Because that traffic that you generated to Twitch is now going to a channel where it says, hey, this page is in another castle, or whatever their cliche thing is they have there. You know, like there's no way for them to actually find you on Twitter if they weren't following you before, if they don't know to look for you there. Because the odds are if someone looks and sees their band, they're just going to go to another stream they already follow.
And that's kind of why I know we brought up earlier that it's so important to have more than one platform.
Yeah,
it's like so insanely important.
You cannot grow without it either.
Yeah, because even if you somehow could, if you're the best streamer in the world to ever exist and you could, if you get banned, you're done. You're out of a job. Good luck.
Yep.
Have you guys ever watched Avori at all? She plays PUBG. She was
PUBG in like 4 years.
She was a partner, and
done.
I guess she got into some legal dispute with Twitch because she wanted to stream something on Facebook Live, like outside of Twitch, had nothing to do with Twitch. Yeah. Well, that's what. So she found out that even affiliates, Twitch owns all of our content on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. They own all of it.
Yeah.
It's so wild. I did not know that going in.
They own the content. Like if you say you record a video at your house that you didn't, and you just record that video and upload it to YouTube or TikTok or something, as long as you didn't stream the content to Twitch, you own it. But if it's clips from a VOD or clips from a stream that was to Twitch at first, you have to wait 24 hours for an exclusivity period for Twitch to use your content however they want, and they still have ownership right over it afterwards.
Well, that's what. So I heard.
YouTube and file a DMCA.
I heard that even the stuff that you make like outside of Twitch's own, maybe I misheard her or something, but
yeah,
or maybe because she's a partner, maybe it's different. I don't know.
Partners are different though, because they're banned from streaming on any other platform. So Mixer, YouTube. I know you're not even allowed to stream on Facebook or anything like that.
Which is weird, because didn't Mercs, like when he was playing Fortnite a lot, didn't he stream to Sliver?
Sliver's partnered with Twitch.
Oh, are
Yeah.
they? Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's pretty much one of those what's it called, embedded things. It's an
Oh,
embedded
right.
Twitch stream. But no,
That makes sense then.
speaking of the whole partners can't stream other thing, that brings up like my favorite thing in the world that happened. I've been following one streamer for a while now named Disguised Toast. He had to deal with Facebook where they were paying him millions of dollars to stream on Facebook instead of Twitch. He said okay, he signed it. He's been streaming over there. And then he's a troll though. He's one of those guys where he always thinks, all right, how can I cause like a shitstorm? So he decided, hey, he sent a message to his manager on Facebook saying, hey man, would you be mad if I did like a 4-hour Twitch stream tomorrow? And sure enough, Facebook said, no, go for it. We don't care. So he did it. And he spent the first like 45 minutes making fun of Twitch. To like 25,000 viewers making fun of their contracts and stuff like that. And he goes, if they don't ban me, guys, don't worry. I'll be back in 2 weeks on my next Twitch stream going over the TOS and the affiliate agreement for you all.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. He goes, I bet you. He goes, I have 25 staff in my chat right now. I think that's a single channel record on this site. Their office is probably on
wild.
fire because they're probably thinking, hey, he's paid to stream somewhere. He can't stream somewhere else. That's illegal. And he, for like 25 minutes straight, he was ripping into Twitch. It was amazing.
I might have
Well,
to go
here's
watch
the
a video on that.
question: what changes would we want to be made if we had to like do an itemized list? Like my first thing would be just like tell me what the rules are. Be
Yeah.
TOS is a big-
specific.
TOS and discoverability, I think, would be the top two for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and discoverability would be easy change too.
That's what
So it's
sucks
not
about it is they
TOS,
just
enforce your rules,
Yeah.
man. The current ones are fine. Just enforce them.
the
Yes, it
changes
would
that they could
be
make to make it like even better are so easy, and it's like they're trying not to do that.
Right.
I feel like it comes back down to the point where, like, for example, like YouTube is the best VOD platform right now. Twitch is the best live platform, and YouTube's the best VOD.
Yeah.
But
Ew.
they got to make improvements because it's only a matter of time until YouTube steps into the VOD space. Like
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
has YouTube has almost 4 billion unique searches every quarter for
I know
gaming content.
YouTube is signed with Google.
I think
now.
if anybody can take on Twitch, it's going to be YouTube.
And I feel
Right.
like apparently Twitch is getting a YouTube gaming revamp, and I've heard rumors that it's really good. So I feel like next year is going to be extremely interesting because Twitch is going to have to step up their game.
Yeah.
Because on
It's-
YouTube, the worst you'll get is demonetized, and at least at that point, yes, you won't make money off that piece of content, but you won't lose your livelihood.
Is it a power struggle with them to see how long they can go without just giving in and do the things that they know they should do?
They're
I
playing
think-
Epic.
I don't know anymore. I feel like they do it so that people will get more involved with Twitch. In my opinion, like you said, Matt, no bad publicity. There's like no bad publicity, right? So like,
Yep.
say somebody gets enraged about Alinity, and you tweet it out, and then 10 more people get pissed off, and they tweet it out, and I feel like it's more and more just becoming like Twitch
People
is
are
the
finding
most talked about
Yeah.
like streaming network, and I feel
Is it-
like it could be something like that for all I know at this point, but it's just like we don't really know like what they're thinking. And there's literally like I feel like companies like Fortnite and now Twitch and stuff like that, they don't listen to their community. They don't explain anything because they feel like they don't have to.
And now Twitch or Fortnite is finally, because Warzone, Valorant, and all of these games are now pushing them in views and players.
I do
They're
gotta
starting
say,
to make changes.
I find it
Well, yeah.
hilarious that Epic started emailing me patch notes for Fortnite.
Oh, did
and
they?
Every 2 weeks I get an email about patch notes, and I email them back. Like I
Need to check my
emailed somebody at
emails
Epic, their
more.
customer support, saying, "Hey, I haven't played your game in like 2 years. Why am I getting emails?" And they go, "Oh, we thought you might want to come back." I tell them no. Sure enough, I still get these goddamn emails.
And then I guess for the rest of the podcast, we can talk about if there's any stories of random or weird bands that have been handed out besides
Oh.
like Alinities or anything.
Random or weird?
I think the
Was-
most random one I saw was when somebody tripped. When there was this dude that tripped on his stream and he fell down the stairs and he got banned for self-harm.
What?
Yeah,
No.
He
How
fell
long did he
down
get banned
the
for?
like I think a week.
Holy.
That'd be me.
What? Like that's gonna be the
Yeah.
crappiest way to just be like, damn, I just fell down the stairs. I may have broken something. Oh, by the way, I can't stream now for a
Well,
week.
he had his setup like facing the stairs. So when he was going up the stairs, he was coming down. He had food in his hands. And
No,
I remember somebody clipped this, and I died laughing at first until I realized he got banned.
note to self
was
not
like,
to ever face my camera towards the stairs.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Do you remember?
So,
you remember that one girl that the dude was streaming and she got up out of bed and her man didn't? Oh my god, that was the funniest thing I think I've ever seen. I don't even know if he got banned for that.
Oh, I don't know. That was good. That was so
she
funny.
just got
though.
up out of bed, no shirt on, just
Vibing. and
everything
he was
right up on the
so fun
camera,
too.
and
He was
he
super
had no
fun
idea.
too. Oh, it was probably the funniest thing. That was one of those 0 viewer channels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you about. My friend and I were going through and we were doing offline raids. We call them offline raids. You're in Discord. And we just found this channel with 0 viewers, but the guy was playing Minecraft and he was whole asleep, like in his gaming chair, like just knocked out, and he was dead in Minecraft. And we were following him, we were trying to sub to him, trying to like wake him up, and all of a sudden out of the corner we just see this girl get up and she has no shirt on, and we were just like, ah!
So crazy.
Oh, it was so funny.
Here's one
Oh.
that happened recently that's just kind of weird because it should not have happened in general. Cole Shaves got a 30-day ban during his 24-hour stream for, quote, threatening to release personal information, even though there was no way that he would possibly have done that during his stream.
What?
Yeah,
What did
so,
he? Yeah, what did he do?
He didn't do anything. That's the thing.
And there's
He-
like no proof or anything. Like,
There's like no proof. Like I'm pretty sure he's like asked about it, and he's just gotten like robotic responses and
oh
stuff.
my god! At that point, I'm giving up on Twitch and I'm moving to like
Well,
YouTube or
he's
something.
just focused on YouTube content now.
Yeah.
Like he's just.
That is so
I wouldn't
wild.
go back to Twitch after that. Like
Two.
I know, and another thing that's happened, not too recent, but the whole Sore Carl thing.
That's who I was gonna
Oh.
bring up.
It's,
What
I
an
mean,
idiot.
in my opinion, do I think the ban was necessary? I think that he definitely deserved a suspension. Do I think that he deserved a permaban? No. Do I think that he could have had a 30-day suspension? Yes.
I think it was
I
more a
feel-
permaban just because it could have taken somebody's life.
Yeah, it could have
Yeah.
it could have been so much worse than what it was, and thankfully
He's-
it wasn't.
Yeah, he's lucky.
But I felt so bad for him because it was everything was taken away from him in that like sheer moment.
But at that
just
point,
like-
alcohol, you never have guns around.
Exactly,
I don't care
exactly.
how much in it. Like I have my pistol, and like I would never, even if I
Right.
had a drink, I would never have my gun on me.
Exactly. It's definitely like I feel like Twitch probably did the right thing in perma banning him. Do I think he should have gotten another chance though? Because he did apologize, and I
Yeah.
think that the way that he was like, he actually went through and was like, "I am so sorry. Like I don't know why I did that. It was a drunken mistake. Like we all make mistakes, and I understand that." Same thing with
Yeah.
Alinity
think
with the whole, exposed thing. Like that was not. She
I
didn't
think
do that. on
Twitch at
purpose.
that point was like, "Are we going to risk something in the future like
The
this?" I'm like,
I guess that's
like
a
how
liability.
how
Poseidon
easy would it
and
have
Neller.
for him to have been like, thank god it didn't happen, but he was so confident there was not a bullet in the chamber for him to have acted like he was going to shoot himself and do that on
Oh
stream.
my god!
I think
right.
that is more so why they banned him.
That's
Yeah.
true. I didn't even
just
think
because
about
then
that.
at that point that's a legal case for them.
Exactly. I didn't even think about that. And for those
Yeah.
who don't know what happened, Carl was drinking and he was messing around with a gun, and he thought he unloaded the round, and unfortunately he didn't realize that he loaded another one in because he didn't take the mag out, and he shot his
His
monitor.
wall.
Thankfully,
Oh yeah, was it? his
nobody
monitor?
got hurt. But I totally understand why he now that you say that, it makes much more
That was
sense.
scary when I saw it because I was like, damn, did he like? Because like I mean,
was
if you think
genuinely
about that,
fun.
especially being intoxicated, and he was so confident, it would have just been so easy for him to be like, oh, look at this, and do that, and like that is
Exactly.
terrifying.
And
Or if that
it's
would have hit his girlfriend or one of his animals, like
Yeah.
Exactly. And usually his animals are in the room with him.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, he definitely deserved the ban now that we're talking about it. I think that
I think he's a good guy. Like I don't think he's a bad guy,
amazing.
but
I was actually a VIP in his channel. Like
Oh,
I
really?
loved watching his streams. They were my favorite.
I just at that
But-
point they may have thought, we could save his life by giving him this ban.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have two that come to mind for like bands that I think are kind of like funny in a way because like Twitch chat kind of caused them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and ironically, they both happened to the same person, Soda Poppin. So when Twitch first started in the first ever TwitchCon, he went there, but he had the whole thing where like, back then, like text to speech where chat donates and it goes to the speaker. And he was interviewing Twitch staff because people had questions for Twitch staff. And he was interviewing a girl. And of course, some idiot in the chat, being the troll that Twitch chat can be sometimes, said, you should ask her out through the speaker so she could hear it. And him being awkward, like really socially awkward, he froze up and he goes, no, I would never date her. And then she looked kind of offended and he goes, I don't know. And then he like kept backtracking and digging himself a bigger hole by accident. He accidentally got, and then he got him banned for 30 days. And I think that's just kind of ironic because Twitch chat caused it instead of actually him himself. Because like, he was never obviously going to do anything like that. But then Twitch chat kind of threw him to the wolves off that point.
Like there's nobody at the office that sees this come in and they're like, yeah,
it
this
happened
wasn't
online.
his fault.
He was talking to the Twitch staff. And then he got confirmation that she was the one that got him banned.
Oh my gosh.
And then the other one though was kind of more lighthearted. He was having troubles with World of Warcraft, so he called into the support line. And he kept getting the same support guy for some reason every single time he called over the years. So he knew the guy by name and everything, and they were talking on the phone. And as they were going, like they were just making jokes about Twitch and Blizzard and how bad both their jobs are, just like joking around. But I guess Twitch staff was in this chat and that he was being serious. So not only did they ban Soda Poppin for another 30 days, the guy got fired from Blizzard.
Wow.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. All just because it was like just that one was like they were just joking around, making jokes like, "Oh, my job sucks," ha 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 ha, and yeah, the dude got fired from Blizzard, and Soda got banned for 30 days, and it took him 6 years to get a sub button. After that, they refused to give it to him.
I will throw a compliment to Twitch since we've been kind of ragging on it this whole time. Deserving.
What's a compliment to Twitch?
They added an esports tab, which I've been waiting for like 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Did they? I don't even see it.
Yeah.
Yep, it's at the
Pretty
top of the
dope.
page there. It's an esports tab. I'm really happy about it existing because esports has been such a big viewership drive on Twitch.
It's gonna
Yeah.
just keep.
Drop
It's
or not
actually
for a
just gonna
game,
be
it has CS:GO's
astronomical how much bigger
Yeah.
it's gonna get.
It is like esports has done so much for Twitch, and Twitch in turn, like its viewership numbers have done so much for those games as well. Like whenever esports tries to switch to a different platform like Mixer or YouTube, oh my god, it just does not do well.
Well, and like
it's
colleges are starting to give scholarships for this stuff too.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's so
College
wild.
has-
I was like, damn, I grew up in the wrong
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I'm like, shit, dude. I remember like when I was like 13, my parents were like, don't play video games too much, focus on your grades. And now people are like, hey, kid, you're standing in your room and you're playing some goddamn video games. Since you're on homework, you're getting that scholarship.
Well, I
Making
work
more
at
money
a-
than his parents are. Like,
Yeah,
I
like,
work at
dude,
an esports
$3
arena too,
million, dude.
and they give away like they like track what kids, especially we have a lot of young kids come in and do Fortnite tournaments. We track their stuff, and basically, if they do well, we can send that into colleges
That's
for
so
them to get
dope.
a scholarship.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what we've been telling parents. We're like, yeah, if they do well and they are serious about wanting to be competitive, we can send them to school with a scholarship.
and
For a
what
nice
better
college.
time to be doing this than right now? Like
And
with
that's-
with COVID and everything. Like,
That's what I love about Riot, by the way. Riot's done such a good job with collegiate esports for a while now. Like they've been
Mhm.
supporting collegiate esports for 7-8 years now with League of Legends.
Sims adopted it in the past couple of years, and it's like
Oh, yeah.
it's
Like
they
they've
put it on the same level as the World Championship, which is nice.
Yeah, like they've been handing out scholarships. If they have players that are in college that want to play in their professional league, they will help the player pay any fees they have to in order to get a year deferral from the university, meaning that they just take the year off and they resume the studies the year after that, just to have a chance to play pro if they want to. Right, will help pay the fees. Like they have so much support for their for collegiate. They've been giving out scholarships. have a scouting grounds where they scout high school students to send them off to colleges. Like it's insane. It's absolutely, and I'm sitting here thinking, why couldn't I have been like 5 years younger so
Oh,
I could like,
yes.
take advantage of this? Like,
I mean, I'm really
you know?
happy. I'm at the perfect age. I'm in my sophomore year of college right now, so I'm having a good time.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still in college, but like I'm just sitting here thinking, like, dude, when I like 5 years ago or when I was in high school, if I was told, hey, you can get scholarships, I still would have been bronze in League of Legends, but I would have been slightly more motivated to play.
I'm turning 29 this year. I feel like I'm being the next
Yeah.
Lupo or Doc, dude. Like, God, I'm just like even like 3 years younger would be sweet.
Yeah, like, dude, I was playing Valorant and someone and I said something and someone goes, how old are you? I said, I'm 23. And they go, I'm 17, you fucking boomer. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I swore. And I'm like, wait a minute. 97 does not make me old. 1997 isn't that long away, man. Come on, don't do this.
It's really interesting that I've like in the past 4 years I have watched esports become a commonplace and something that
oh yeah,
like a lot of people accept now. And when I would talk about it back in 2016, they're like, yeah, I just watched a Smite World Championship on a Sunday there, and they were like, ew, what's wrong with you? And now I can be like, yeah, my favorite CSGO team is Mousesports and Liquid, and people will be like, oh yeah, I love this team and this team, and I'm like, oh, this is weird. I didn't expect people to like actually do this.
like I remember back in 2013, League sold out the Staples Center in under 30 minutes or something like that for the World Final. And like I was watching it, but like I was my friends over were watching it, and because we're all like my friends over watching in the living room, my dad walks in, he goes, so what character are you? And I go, I'm not playing, I'm watching. He goes, you're watching someone play? And I go, yeah. And he goes, why wouldn't you just play? And then I told him, because I'm not good. And he went, well, then just get better, just play to improve. And I tried to explain to him like the entertainment value of it, and he goes, oh, that won't stick. Yeah, I caught him watching the League of Legends North American Spring Finals on ESPN.
I'll be at work.
I do think it's funny that when like I was in high school, like it like playing like we had like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 and all that, and like anybody you knew would play it, but if we would have said anything that is like going on now, you would have been considered like a nerd, and like nobody would mess with you, and like, but now it's like it's a nerd to be like a jock if you're not like into this stuff. And I think it's so funny that it's just like taking off.
Imagine having a life, you freaking nerd.
Yeah. Oh, you play sports and not games? Yeah. Guess what? I'm making millions.
The same kids that would bully me for you know, liking YouTube content and watching gamers and shit.
Yeah.
They would like, I see them now trying to become Twitch streamers and getting into the culture, and like I was on I have two Twitters. I have like one where I've had it since like 2015, and it's just like all my real life friends and stuff, right? And then I have my other one that like I use for Obey related stuff. I will go on there and I'll just like be on the wrong account and search up one of my friends from the Obey Twitter, and I see like my real life friends following them, and I'm like, what the heck? You guys never did this. You like, it's the same kids that would bully me for that are now trying to become Twitch streamers and are now into the culture.
Then it'd be
like, who are you guys?
And
the kids at the
was-
bar with their varsity jacket
same-
on, talking about how many touchdowns they threw senior year.
Exactly. It's the same thing with my when I kind of got into college, I started getting really into esports. I started streaming and stuff. When I was in high school, I was like the loser for playing video games. Like a girl playing video games, ugh, disgusting. And then once I started doing all this stuff on Twitch, I've had so many people from my high school be like, "Hey, I see that you're kind of like a medium-sized Twitch streamer. Like, what are you doing? And like, how do I make that money?" I'm like,
after
no.
that PAX thing, like I edited it and made it look like it was super dope and official, and like I posted it, and this kid that I used to know in junior high, never talked to him in high school, none of that. He messaged me and he's like, "Yo, my son is really into Fortnite. You should play with him." And then he told me his kid was 4, and I was like, "What? No, dude. What? I don't know you anymore. Like, what?" It's like
it's just people are so weird. Clout chasers.
The clout
man.
chasing, yeah. And it's like I don't even have clout, but like the little tiny bit that I do, like I don't know you. If we were still friends and talking, that's one thing. And your kid's 4. Let him be a kid.
I used to never talk about what I did on the internet when because the one time that I did when I was younger, like I got ostracized for it. I was like, what the hell? So I used to never talk about it, and when like it comes up in conversation in real life now, like now I kind of just flex it a little bit because, you know, it's part of a bag, and I don't mean to flex, but I just kind of like whenever I talk about it, people are like, know what it is now, and that's always like just so alien to me because I'm like, people would never know what this was in a million years back in the day, but now it's like, I literally had one of my friends. I met her brother, and mentioned offhand that I work for Obey, and he goes, "Wow, there's an Obey member in my house," and I'm like, "Is that like a big deal to you?" And he's like, I've been a fan of this org since I was like 12, and I'm like, oh, that's so weird to me because I was two. I was two, and now I'm living it, and it's just strange.
I worked for the school district for a couple years out of college, and one of the jobs I had, like I was out working with some of the kids that like struggled with like their being social and out at recess stuff. I shit you not. So sorry, my bad. I crap you not. Every recess these kids had, it was all about FaZe, 100 Thieves, Fortnite, who could crank better. And it's like, would you guys just go shoot some hoops or something? Like, do something, like, just be a kid for a little bit.
Right.
You have plenty of time. You have plenty of time to worry about all this in the next couple years.
Exactly.
And they're just standing there, like, in the Foursquare boxes, just yelling at each other who can crank better.
I know I drove by a grade school and I saw kids Fortnite dancing at each other. I was like, okay, I'm
my friend
so glad I was not
John,
part of this era.
my friend John lives in Texas, and he you know, it makes sense that it's in Texas, and that's where like Obey, it's like main members were for a while, right? But like he lives in Texas, and he told me a couple months ago, he's like, dude, I saw people wearing Obey merch, and I'm like, what? And he's like, I saw people wearing Obey merch, and they were talking about Call of Duty and stuff in public, and I was like, if that happened like when we were kids, dude, like we would have got bullied for that. Like
Right.
I was weirded out. I was like, what? They can just talk about this in public and like wear this. I was talking to our old Obey PUBG team a while ago, and we were talking about like what esports merch was cool to wear, because this was before Obey had any of their stuff drawn up or like any like you know, new stuff on the way. And he's like my friend Theris was like, I really want to wear like EG stuff, but I'm not sure if I want to look like a mega virgin. And I'm like, dude, people can wear like FaZe and 100 Thieves stuff in public, and people will like compliment on that. Like I was wearing, I think I was wearing my Obey hoodie in public. I was at a bar, and people, like one dude walked up to me, he's like, nice hoodie, dude. I'm like, oh, thank you. And I was like, it was really weird because I was like, that's not
my Twitch hoodie and stuff like that. We're like,
yeah.
oh, wow, you're a Twitch streamer? Wow. But
Like, so the concern is not looking like a mega virgin anymore. It's like people will compliment you for that at this point. Like this is the culture.
Well, that's why so many people want to. So many people want to do it.
Anymore.
So many people want to do it, and so many people find like no success in it. That as soon as you find somebody with even like a little bit of success, you know, it's like, damn, that's dope that you're going to do that, or you get people that are hella jealous. And
that's why I wear my Twitch hoodie, even though I don't really stream anymore, because like it's free IRL clout. Like, as bad as it sounds, the amount of times, like, for example, if I went to the liquor store and I was waiting in line, the amount of people that were like, hey, you want to go to the front? It's actually kind of fucking ridiculous. Sorry, freaking ridiculous. Like, it's actually mind-boggling. Like, one time, just after TwitchCon, I landed, and then I went back to my house, got my car, because I had a car service for me home. I got my car, went to fill it up with gas, because it was pretty much empty before I left. I got to the gas station, and sure enough, someone else was, like, just getting home from TwitchCon, I guess, and he saw me with a hoodie. Didn't bother asking me what my channel was or anything, but he paid for my gas.
What?
Yeah, he filled me right up, and I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
This was a while back though, but I was yes, it is. And like this was a while back. I was in one of my classes, and I noticed one day this kid was wearing a FaZe hoodie, and I'm like, oh, I could go talk to him about that, because you know this is like something I've been interested in a long time. And then I was like, no, never mind. I don't want to bother people, you know, I'll just let him be him. He's probably just liking the org and stuff. And then one day I'm sitting in class wearing my Obey hoodie, literally watching a CSGO tournament, and this kid approaches me, and he's like, hey! And I'm like, oh no, this is what I was about to do to him.
Yeah. But no, I think it's great how it's evolving, though, and how it's becoming more commonplace. Because like
it's wild how much bigger it's going to get,
and it's a great thing for the world too. Actually, I wrote a paper on it for school, and it's because like you have stuff, for example, like I love using this example, the org Gen G, with their Fortnite team. It's only like it's only female players.
I love Tina.
Yeah, Tina and Maddie. Like I've
love
known them for
Ava.
a few years now, but their Fortnite team's only females, and yet they've won events. They like Tina won the Twitch Rivals event last year, and she got Finals MVP.
Didn't they all
Like-
roll together too in a tournament and win some tournament?
Yeah,
That's so
all
dope.
4 of them. They played 2 tournaments together as 4, and they won both.
And stuff
That's
like that is going to help. I mean, it's not going to
It's-
cancel
even-
the toxicity towards
Oh, no,
female
but
gamers,
even-
but it does help
Even
with.
outside of games, the fact that like there is still a gender gap, obviously, in workplaces and stuff like this, where it's a new developing industry, can definitely help with that.
Yeah.
Like it's growing at a great rate, and it's also growing in a great way.
And I think it also helps these kids that are like those. I feel like we all know those kids that never had their own opinion. They would just follow what everybody else was saying or doing. And
Yeah.
I feel like stuff like that is going to help those kids sway more towards, I'm not going to be toxic to them just because they're a girl. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that stuff like
ready
that
for
is pretty dope.
But I think honestly, guys, I think we're gonna call it a wrap here.
Wrap it
Yeah, I just noticed we've been going for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're at an hour 30.
It's gonna be an hour, or it's gonna be like 30 minutes at most, guys. And I'm like, all right, bet. And then I was like,
Honestly,
wait,
That's
that's
and-
not
This is stuff that like
Yeah,
It's
and
cool
Deb-
though
all
because people
wanted
like
to talk about
listening
for
to
a
this stuff.
while.
I just want to point
So-
out Deb left like an hour ago, and I don't think
Yeah,
anybody.
um,
I don't think anyone except for me noticed.
She messaged me. She had to go eat dinner, but
Yeah. just about that.
no, I think that this is definitely something that if we wanted to, we could continue because I love
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah,
this stuff. I
I'm
think
100%
that
down.
I feel like if we we should do like an actual podcast.
We can do a
Yeah,
full overlay and stuff to get all of us
Let's-
on like
yeah.
video cams and stuff. I've
Right.
always wanted. I went to school for doing podcasts and stuff.
Let's
and
do it.
It'd be
You know,
sweet.
give me some of your clout, guys. Come on.
I would 100% be down. Because there's so much stuff I want to talk about, but I don't feel comfortable enough to talk about it on my channel. You know, so I would 10 out of 10 be down. But thank you guys so much for doing this with me. This is my
Yeah.
final project.
Good luck with the
so-
final.
But whenever I can, if you want to edit it, it's totally up to you. I don't think that
Send the entire
I was honestly
file.
just going to take out
just deleting the
these.
video.
Yeah,
bleep
delete
the
the video. I was
swears.
probably going to take out the Carl part just because like
Yeah, that just might be a little bit
Yeah.
much for my school.
are you
um,
cool with when I upload it to YouTube? Are you cool with me just leaving the whole
That's
thing?
totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I would
Um,
just send the entire file. That way your
yeah.
prof sees it. Wait, an hour and a half? You know what? I'm just gonna give it an A.
That's what Professor. When you're done watching this and listening to it, she deserves an A+. So let's hook her up.
Oh my gosh.
She's really short, so life does have challenges in front of her. So you should just pass her.
Oh,
She goes by Shorty for a reason.
my
Won't be able to
teacher
reach the top
laughed
shelf.
so
You
hard.
could just give her a break.
Oh my god.
I made her
Alright.
cry once on stream. I'll do it again if you don't pass her.
Oh god.
Oh
No.
my god! All right, it was great talking with you guys. I'm also
Yeah,
gonna reach
yeah,
out to you guys.
What's your guys'
to
Twitter
get all
stuff?
your-
Yeah,
I'm gonna get your
guys, I
Twitter
haven't-
stuff to drop in the
yeah,
video and stuff.
Send it. What's
Oh,
your
Red
what's
Hops and Whips, because that's what we're using.